When darkness holds the night and hands rise from our side to fight an endless fight. Sunlight, oh sunlight.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Songs of Faith Sunday. My name is Chris Wilson. So happy that you're here with us tonight. With me, as always, is my darling wife, Carrie. She doesn't have to. It takes her a little time to get over to the microphone. So,
Hey, everyone.
oh, there she is. So I'm wearing my vest tonight. Just feeling a little saucy. This song has been in my head today, and so I thought I'd just lead off with this one. I'm going to play it maybe a little differently. I'd just like to wish everybody just, I don't know, just the robust blessings of heaven today. If you were outside, you probably had a moment where you sort of felt that a little bit. It's always interesting to me when it's really warm on a day when it probably shouldn't be. It gets you to reflect on your blessings, at least it does for me. So I'm going to play this one here for you to get started. I am weak, but thou art strong. Jesus, keep me from all wrong, 'cause I'll be satisfied as long as I walk. Let me walk close to thee, just a closer walk with thee. Granted, Jesus is my plea. Daily walking close to thee. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. Through this world of toil and snares, if I falter, Lord, who cares? And who with me my burden shares? None but thee, dear Lord, none but thee. Just a closer walk with thee. Granted, Jesus is my plea. Daily walking close to thee. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. my feeble life is o'er. Time for me will be no more. Just guide me gently, safely o'er to thy kingdom shore, to thy shore. Just closer walk with thee. Granted, Jesus is my plea. Daily walking close to thee. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. What a great song that is. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. You know, I have a lot of different prayers that I pray all the time, but they usually end with something pretty close to that.
Yeah.
I think there's we can try to think better of everything when we pray and think for the things that we want or our heart's desires, what we want to ask for. But in the end, I think we could all agree, if we are believers, that His will for our life is usually the better one. And so I usually just ask for strength to handle whatever He's got coming. So I hope everybody's feeling good. From week to week, I feel like we're in sort of a different world. Don't you think?
Yeah, I do.
And this week feels no different. You know, a lot of things happening in our country, a lot of discussion, argument, you know, a lot of very, very impassioned voices speaking loudly. And I find that what I try to do is that I try to find ways to quiet the noise a little bit so I can hear from God. I wonder what He thinks of all this right now, you know?
Yeah.
And I guess really that's what our prayers sort of boil down to. What do you think of all this? And what should we do? Yeah. I'm feeling very grateful this week that He's given me this platform to continue to be able to sing for you. And we're going to start doing a podcast. I know that we've sort of teased this in the past, but it's just taken us a while to figure out exactly how to do it. But we're going to start a podcast in the coming weeks, which is going to be sort of an addendum on the Sunday Night Songs of Faith, which will delve into some of the testimonies that I sort of touch on these nights.
Yeah.
And because I'm sitting in one of them right now, this barn is a testimony beyond, and it just has layers and layers and layers. And people have asked about it, and people have wanted to know about it. And
We should do like a virtual walkthrough.
we can do that. Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So we're going to start doing that. So we would ask for your prayers in starting that. Also, all of the things that we now do in this building are going to start coming under the heading of One Hallelujah. I think this building is now going to be part of One Hallelujah, and we're going to sort of work under that particular arch for all the outreach and all the things that we do. So I think that we're feeling God moving us to do that. And so lots of new things happening. I want to sing a song. Turns out that we've got some fans out there, so I want to sing this song for Sue and for the Sisters of Mercy, who are watching the program and we feel so grateful that you're doing that and supporting us with your prayers and your interest. And we want you to know that we support you as well. And just thank you. Thanks for watching. So I was trying to figure out a good song to play for you. And I was thinking about this song that I wrote several weeks ago when I did my 7 songs in 7 days. And it's a song called Hear My Prayer. And it reminded me of a responsorial psalm.
Yeah.
And when I wrote it. And when I was trying to think of a song to do sort of in dedication for you and your work, this one sort of came to my brain.
Yeah.
So this is called Hear My Prayer. For the outstretched hands, for their broken plans, for the lonely ones, for the father's sons, Lord, hear my prayer. My prayer, for the crowded streets, for blinded souls to see, pour out the living water for every mother's daughter. My prayer, Lord, hear my prayer, hear my prayer, hear my prayer. Of heart who wither in the dark, for the seething souls, give them loving arms to hold. Lord, hear my prayer. Hear my prayer, for broken hearts to come to the chosen one, for the wounds to heal, in them your grace revealed. Lord, hear my prayer, Lord, hear my prayer, hear my prayer, hear my prayer. Excuse me. Well, that was for Sue and the Sisters of Mercy. Thank you so much for watching the program. That means so much to us. You know, most people know this that watch this show frequently, but if you don't, I don't prepare a set list beforehand, not real specifically. And there might be a few songs that are moving me throughout the day, but I really try very hard to let the Spirit lead the evening. And that always happens one way or another. And the reason that I started doing that, I want to tell you just a quick little story. When I first decided...
I'm very sorry. Now I have the squeaky chair.
Yeah, wow.
I'm going to just mute my microphone while I adjust myself.
No, we want to hear every squeak. It just means you're working hard over there.
That's right.
So, you know, I'd always just played secular music. I had always been a believer in various degrees, but, you know, I'd always just played secular music. I never really knew how to cross the barrier into playing faithful music. It just, whenever I tried to do that or I thought about doing it, there was always some complication or there was some reason that I didn't. Not necessarily good reasons, but just reasons. And so it kept me from doing it. And so one day I just decided that it was time to start doing that a little bit. And I had just recorded my Songs of Faith album, my first Christian music. And I really just recorded that because at the time, I remember my mom sort of asking me, do you have that song recorded or do you have this song recorded? And me just saying no. And she's like, you should do that. You know, I'm sort of a mama's boy, so she told me to do something and I did it. And so I put that album together very quickly. I recorded it very simply. It sounds just like what you're hearing right now, just me and my guitar and a microphone. And so I put that together. And then I had the opportunity to play in a church one night. And it was the middle of winter. It was in downtown Rochester. And so they wanted me to do that as a program, like a 1-hour program of this music. And I'd never done it before. And, you know, I don't know. It was just sort of an interesting thing that came about, and I decided, okay, I'm going to do this, but I didn't really know how to do it. I didn't know, should I say something? Like, I was just sort of a mess with it. And then there was a blizzard that night. I mean, it was like a downright blizzard. I mean, there was so much snow, I could barely get my equipment into the church, and I spent all this time setting up, and it was a thing, and so then I go into the back of the church to prepare what I'm doing, and I realized that I had spent so much time worrying about what was going on and worrying about setting up my stuff, and then the fact that it was a blizzard, which meant that probably no one was even going to show up. I hadn't, because of all of those reasons, I hadn't prepared anything. I hadn't prepared anything to say. I hadn't prepared anything to sing. I was, and I'd been a professional musician all my life, so that idea that I was just so ill prepared was something that was rough. So I'm in the back of the church, and I'm sort of looking out, and I say to somebody who was there, I said, how many people are here? And they were like, 6. There's 6 people here. And there was so much snow outside, like I just knew it was going to be like that. And so what I did was, purely out of desperation, so not for any reason that I should pat myself on the back about, I just said a prayer before I went out, and I just asked the Holy Spirit to lead the evening, because I didn't know what to say. So, the Holy Spirit was going to have to speak for me or through me, because I dididn't know what to say, and I didn't want to get it wrong. What if there was somebody there who had the opportunity to believe, and I screw it up or something? So I just, out of desperation, I just threw my hands up in the air and I said, Lord, just take the evening. This is yours. So I walked out to a very, very light smattering of applause. And I got ready to do this music. And for some reason, I played 2 songs to start that evening that I've never, ever, ever played to start an evening before. Never once. And I would never even consider it. And I had no explanation for why. I just did it. I just was rolling with whatever was coming out of my mouth. And So I play this evening, and it goes pretty well. You know, the 6 people seemed pretty, at least most of them seemed like they got something. But there were two girls there in the audience that looked a little out of place, not real typical for my audience. They just didn't. They stood out a little bit to me. And they came up afterward and to buy a CD or something, and we had a little conversation, and they said, I just have to tell you, I was out and about doing some shopping today or something like that, and I saw a poster for this evening, and I thought, this isn't something I would typically go to, but I thought, why not go? And I brought a friend, and we came, and I think even as we were coming in, I think she said, you know, if it's not good, or if it's not something that we're interested in, we're just going to leave, is what she said to her friend. And she said the whole day after that, I had these songs in my head, and I was just singing them. I could just hear these particular songs. And she's like, we sat down and you walked out, and the first 2 songs where you played were the first 2 were these songs that I had in my head all day. And they were like, we just knew that we had to stay and there was something for us here. And it was the first moment that I realized that I could be used in some way by the Father, you know? I mean, I shouldn't say that. It was the first moment that I knew I could be used professionally, I think, like with what I do. You know, I had sung songs in church and stuff like that, but the idea that maybe I could do that, and maybe he could use me, and maybe I could actually be useful, it sort of blew my hair back. And I remember driving home that night, and I called Carrie, and she said, how did it go? And I said there was only 6 people, and she was like, oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry. And I was like, no, it was like the best show I've ever played. Remember that?
I do. I remember it well.
And I was like, it was just such a powerful moment. So, you know, those were the little moments where our one hallelujah, you know, there's a string of them, but that's where this was born, you know? And I don't know how many years ago is that now?
I want to say that there was one of our girls was a baby.
Yeah.
So
8 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
9
8
years
ago.
Something like that. And I think the deal is that if you offer your life to God, He will release you at the right time. And so if things don't make sense, or you're not exactly sure what to do, just stay in a humble, sort of surrendered place, and He'll eventually go, okay, now it's time. And you'll know. I knew that day. So thank you for listening to my little... But see, now that's a good example of something that I would talk about maybe a little bit further on the podcast. Maybe we'll have some guests and some conversation and stuff like that. So we'd love it if you would, once we get that up and running, if you subscribe to that, we'd be very, very grateful. I think there's going to be some valuable stuff there. Well, this next song, I sing this one a lot. I get asked to sing it a lot, and it was one of the first 2 songs I played that night. So here's a little Precious Lord. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand, 'cause I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, to the light. Just take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When my way grows drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my life, it is it's almost gone. Lord, it's gone. Hear my cry, hear my call. Hold my hand, lest I fall. Just take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When the dark, it appears, and the night, it draws near. When the day, it is past and gone. Lord, it's gone. At the river I stand, just got my feet, hold my hand, take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. Just take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. So much power in that song. It's I have used that song has held my hand through so many moments. I don't even think I could quantify it. It's been an emotional song, like when I feel the need to really sort of reframe and reorient myself when I'm on stage. And if there's a moment where I feel like, God has something to say and I don't know what that is, I sing that song. I find that it just gets right there. And I'm so grateful to it. I've gotten so many beautiful letters and messages from so many of you that have said what that song means to you. I'm always shocked that you want me to sing it again because I've sung it so much. But I suppose I shouldn't be, because it's sort of a genius, beautiful song. But I'm feeling very prayerful tonight. I think my wife and I were talking about this morning. I got up, and maybe you run into this as well. If you're a believer, if you're sort of a surrendered to Jesus, there's layers of things that happen, and it changes your life. And one of the things that I notice is common among all of these people, us people, is that very often we'll have the same thoughts independently. I got up this morning and thought to myself, I wanted to fast for a week. Now, my wife and I have done this periodically throughout our life, but I got up this morning and I was just thinking about that, and I was just mulling it over in my head, like how I would do it, when I'm going to do it. So I had some coffee. My wife and I are in the kitchen, and she looks at me and she says, I think we should fast this week. So you just sort of go, okay, that's... Yeah. And so maybe that happens with you. So the reason I mention it tonight is because usually we just sort of keep that to ourselves. But then I wondered if any of you out there might be feeling the same thing. I mean, there's a lot that we need to humble ourselves toward God, and there's a lot going on. And I feel like if ever there was a time to sort of humble ourselves in prayer, it's now. Yeah. So if anybody out there would like to join us, that's what we're going to do this week. And there's various ways to do it. And if you'd like to just communicate with us and let us know that you are, and maybe if there's some prayer requests or there's something on your heart, just let us know through the various sources. Yeah. And we'll maybe we can all lift up those things together. I mean, that's what this is about. At the end of the day, we can go through all the motions. We can go to church. We can do all of these things. But at the end of the day, if we don't just humble ourselves and surrender and say, God, we are your instruments. Use us in whatever way, for whatever your purposes are. Then I think if we're doing anything other than that, we're sort of missing it. Yeah. So we just thought we'd express that to you tonight. So as you can see, I'm in a little slightly more somber, prayerful mood tonight. Just thinking about that. So maybe I need to do something silly. By the way, I lost my ring. I can't find my ring.
It wasn't me.
I'm not 100% sure.
I have nothing to do with
that. I believe you. Because that's where I go. Like when I need a little bit of... Now, see, if I need like a little bit of like, I don't know, a little something. Putting a little salt and pepper on the food. I put on the ring. Makes me feel interesting. Slightly weird. But but, like more often than not, it's really just about the silliness of it. So when I want to, I reach and I keep this ring, the little pocket when you're wearing jeans, the little pocket inside the big pocket. I don't know does that pocket have a name?
I am sure that it does. I don't know what it is. And I'm sure it has an actual purpose too.
Yeah. Well, that's where I keep my giant Super Bowl sized ring. And I took it off the other day to do some work. And I cannot find it. Just putting it out there. Do you remember my cutoff flannel? Yeah, do I have to tell the audience about my cutoff flannel? Because I think they'll all, what's going to happen? They'll all agree with you. And so it's not even worth it.
You're right.
I had this cutoff flannel. It was my favorite shirt. And the reason it was...
when you say cutoff, can you explain? Because I feel like there's a...
All right, I had this very thick flannel shirt, which I loved. Very colorful, very soft. Had it for a lot of years. I'm not sure why... I don't know if I thought it looked cool or if there was some reason, maybe something happened to the sleeves.
I mean, if any of you out there watched the show Blossom... like Joey Lawrence on Blossom with the cut-off sleeves on the flannel. It was kind of like that.
I think, sadly, I did think it looked cool. Anyway...
It was a long time ago.
I cut off the sleeves on this flannel, and I loved it. And I think there was a fight one night where I was actually going to leave the house wearing it. And so that happened. And I didn't. And then it disappeared. Didn't it?
Yeah.
Just gone. One day, just gone. There's some men out there who understand it. You know what's happening right now? There's some men out there right now who are like, come to think of it, where's my blue shirt? And there's a wife right now just being like, she's shaking her head because she knows she threw it out when he wasn't looking. I'm feeling feisty now. Yeah. It's all bringing back all the memories of the shirt.
I mean, I think you know that I did you a favor.
suppose you did. You did. I mean... This song is another song that I wrote fairly recently, and it's about all of these plans that we make that about how we really need to just sort of surrender all of that to God, and stop thinking that everything needs to be. We need to stop strangling everything, and just sort of let it go and let God do what he's going to do with it. And this song's called What I Planned. I lay it out before the dawn, another song to heal me. Then your words fall from my mouth into my hand, but I don't understand why I'm falling, shaking, breaking away. Our Father, awake me in your embrace. This isn't what I planned. Who is the man that I've become? What does he love? What does he know? I try to put it all away, these thoughts I'd say, and then I'd stay. But now I'm falling, shaking, breaking away. Our Father, awake me in your embrace. This isn't what I planned. This isn't what I planned. This isn't what I planned. Young, I saw a cross softly swaying from my mom's guitar. I wonder if that was your way to speak your way into these hands today. 'Cause I am falling, shaking, breaking away. Oh, Father, awake me in your embrace. This isn't what I planned. 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 Wow. Yeah. You know, my wife and I were having a conversation today. We were talking about how there's this sense sometimes, you know, that no tragedies or no trials should ever come in your way if you're a believer. Sometimes it gets sold that way, like, well, you know, if you just believe this, everything's going to be great. And on some level, that is true if you can get to a place with the Lord where you realize that though struggles come in your way, He's going to get you through them. You're going to be able to get through them in Him. But the struggles come; they're there, you know, and we get lost. You know, we are like sheep, and He is the shepherd, and sometimes we wander.
We do. We
do foolish things. We think foolish things. We think we have better ideas. We, you know, I don't know. We follow things we shouldn't. And it happens. And, you know, we were talking about this idea that, you know, I had a conversation with a friend, and we were talking about, you know, churches and what they've sort of become and maybe what they should be and what they aren't, or, you know, what was the original intention of church. And, you know, and I was thinking, how many people on a given day, though they might be sitting in a church, you know, let's say there was a congregation of a few hundred people, are lost.
Yeah.
They're lost in that moment. They're not found just because they've entered that building, you know?
Yeah.
It's our job to sort of surround lost. But so that means that we always have to just surround each other, because on any given day we could be that lost person. And even if we think we've got it all together, I mean, I don't know how many of you out there, but I can say that, you know, I can have a day where I can wake up and be affirmed and powerful and thoughtful and clear and present and all of those things, and the next day I can be a complete wreck.
Yeah.
And, you know, I spoke on a earlier show about listening to Don Potter, somebody who I've gotten a chance to know a little bit. And he's a wonderful, if you're not familiar with Don Potter, he's from Rochester. He's a he's a famous and very talented songwriter and big Nashville guy, and but also has a real strong heart for the Lord. And he said he can remember praying and asking God, you know, why is it that I can feel like what I just described? Like I can feel strong and powerful and clear and present, like I know exactly what you want from me and who I am in you and all of this stuff. And on the next day I can feel like just a little lost sheep, not even knowing where I am or what I'm about. And why is that? Why does it feel like some days you're right on top of me and other days I can't find you? And he said that the message that he got from God was that there is power in looking for Him, you know, in seeking Him. And I thought about that, and that's really true.
Yeah.
Because that reorients you when you start to look for something. That brings you into focus. It brings you into clarity. If you were lost and you were looking for something specific, all of a sudden all of that other stuff goes away, and you look at that one thing, and you orient yourself on it. And I thought, it's a good message. Lots of messages tonight. So I'm going to sing a song that is on my first Songs of Faith. Also, You guys know I hate talking about this stuff, but it is sort of the deal. In order for us to keep doing what we got to do, we do need to take donations, and you can do that by going to my website, which is www.chriswilson.us. We usually have that up on the screen, but tonight we don't. Carrie's dropping the ball. I think she deserves a strongly worded email. But yeah, we are in need of that. These times are sort of uncertain, and if this is something that you feel like you want to support, we would be so grateful for that. You can go to my website, which is www.chriswilson.us. There's a donate button that you can click, and it takes you right to PayPal if you'd like to make a donation, or an address if you'd like to send a donation. And I wish I could say we weren't in need of that, but we are. And that's sort of the way this thing keeps rolling. So thank you for that. Okay, so this song comes from my first Songs of Faith album, and it's a song called My Grace. And I wrote this song. I mean, maybe I really thought that I always was maybe a little bit more prepared, but now here's another story about me being ill-prepared for something. My brother was getting married. I was living in Los Angeles. He was getting married back here. And he asked me if I would sing for his wedding, which I agreed. And I said, I'll do you one better. I'll write a song for your wedding. And so I'm living in Los Angeles and just keeping my normal music performing schedule. And from time to time, Carrie would ask me, she'd be like, sweetie, did you write that song for your brother's wedding? How long did this go on for? Quite a while.
I don't know. I remember because it stressed me out a lot that you had not written this song yet.
And now I write when I'm inspired. So I was like, well, nothing's come to me yet. I wasn't very disciplined at that moment. And so that would just always be my response. Like, I don't know. I just didn't feel it. So literally, it's the morning of getting on the plane to come home to Rochester from Los Angeles for the wedding. And my brother, meanwhile, had asked me a few times, he's like, so, you know what you're singing? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I got it together. Just, I got to work some stuff out, but I think, I got something here and it's going to be great. And I hadn't. And so Carrie says to me, I remember you were like, literally, like, you haven't written the song. The wedding is, tomorrow or the day after or something like that. Yeah. You're literally getting on the plane. And I said, I'll bring my guitar in the carry-on of the plane, like in the overhead. I'll throw my guitar in the overhead. And when I get to JFK, I've got like a 2-hour layover in JFK before coming to Rochester. I'll write the song then. This is ridiculous behavior on my part. But there I was. I stroll into JFK. I pull my guitar down, and I just plant myself with a notebook, my guitar, at a table, sort of on the outskirts of one of the gates. But the gate gets progressively more crowded. It's JFK. It's not like it's some tiny little airport, And I start writing this next song, and I was like, and it started to come. It was really great. It was like, okay, here it is. I'm writing the song, and I'm sitting in the middle of this airport with my guitar, and everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy. And then the craziness sort of turns to like what I interpret as annoyance, because I don't know, hearing someone sing a song is a lovely thing. Hearing someone write a song is not a lovely thing, because you just hear them repeating the same phrases over and over again. You're trying to fit phrases into things. It's like, I feel like almost like if you were like obsessive compulsive or something like that, to never see something come to its completion, like when they show something that's like going across the thing and it never hits the side of the screen and then it goes off and you just never, drives people crazy. So that's basically what happened to all the folks in JFK when I wrote this song. But I finished it up literally, like I dotted the last I and crossed the last T and closed the notebook, and they're like, now boarding to Rochester. And I was like, I remember patting myself on the back. I'm like, I am awesome. And, but again, in hindsight, I think God gave me this one too. This song was a special one. So this is called My Grace. You took my hand, promised that you love me forever. It wasn't what I planned. It's so much better. Hearts, they come and go in this lost and lonely place. But now that you found me, I found my grace. When the world is still, the only madness is the stars above me. I close my eyes and I can feel your arms around me. All the things I know seem to drift in time and space. 'Cause when you're holding me, I feel my grace. Amazing grace, this grace I found. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Today you'll take my hand and promise that you'll love me forever. This wasn't what I planned. It's so much better. With every day to come and every day I see your face, I will know I found my heart and my grace. I haven't sung that one in a while. Out of tune here. All right, I'm going to finish off with this one here. Once again, thank you all so much for sharing every Sunday. We've done this every Sunday now, without missing one since in middle of March.
Even when it looked the one that wouldn't work.
I know,
but we went to Facebook, so it counts.
Yeah, that one counts. We really feel, there was a time where we were thought about like maybe just stopping doing this, and maybe there was just to take a break or something like that. Yeah. And we got so many messages from so many people saying that this was something that really meant a great deal to them, and it really moved us because it means a great deal to us as well. that so many people would choose to share their time, something that is so valuable and so precious, to share your time with us.
Yeah.
Every Sunday night for an hour. It's a big deal, you know. I see your mother, her feet don't touch the ground. I hear a father, he makes a joyful sound. I stand in the water, you stand here with me. Lord, pull me under to set my soul free. Redeem, redeem, redeem. Lord, I am redeemed. He calls out words to me. Make me a teacher, Lord, set your people free. Lord, I am redeemed. When I read your story, I read your words divine. Lord, take my story that you may rewrite mine. Lord, I am redeemed. I kneel at the altar, my hands down on the floor. And you lift my head up, this hurt ain't yours no more. As I stand in the water, you stand here with me. Lord, pull me under to set my soul free. Redeem, redeem, thank you all so much for watching tonight. I just pray God's blessings on everybody. If you're having something that you're struggling with. Speaking of struggles, we had our septic issue that plagued us. It turns out plagued us for the entire time we've owned the place. We had to dig up the entire septic system outside and all of that, and it was sort of a bad deal. And I'm very grateful to, as of today, be able to put that behind us.
Yes.
We get these things. I mean, we all do. We all have these struggles. They happen. They always seem to happen at bad times. There's never a good time for a struggle, really. No. But we just put it in God's hands, and we always end up, I guess, where we need to be one way or another.
Yeah.
So thank you all again so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. Please give this video a thumbs up if you feel like you enjoyed it. If you'd like to support us, we'd be so grateful for that. You can do that at chriswilson.us, www.chriswilson.us, and there's a donate button to donate through PayPal, and as well as an address if you'd like to send a donation in the mail. Have a lovely, lovely week ahead. We'll see you for Wednesday night by request. Good night, everybody.